This week's episode is one, I think it's kind of overdue. I've spoken a lot about skincare, especially as someone that deals with breakouts. It's just during a pandemic, it's literally every week. But yeah, I've talked about my kind of holy grail skincare when it comes to being someone that has hormonal breakouts. And when I say hormonal, that also means stress, because when our stress levels are raised during lockdown, for example, that affects how our hormones work. So I thought it was time to kind of share that my actual cleansing part of my routine has really changed. It's become kind of like a wardrobe. I actually have 5 cleansers that are in rotation right now. So I thought I'd break it down for you. Before I start, I just want to say something about makeup wipes. I do not use makeup wipes. They will never enter my routine ever again. I used to use them, but they're just a waste of time and money. I think it's just time for us to get past the makeup wipes. Not only do they they don't do an efficient job, because as I say, you could probably use them as part of a cleanse, but they're not going to take everything off, no matter what they claim, no matter who uses them, no matter what Megan Thee Stallion says.
This first, the Neutrogena makeup wipes, this is what get all the hot girl stuff off your face. Like, it don't matter what I put on my face, this gonna take it off in like 3 swipes.
They're not sufficient. They're also bad for the planet, if you haven't heard. They do not biodegrade. There may be some biodegradable ones around, but yeah, they're not good for the planet. They're also not good for us, because you have to rub them in, especially if you're somebody that has sensitive skin or perhaps acne prone skin. They're really not good for you to keep kind of rubbing away the makeup. And also when it comes to eye makeup, we tend to like really get in there and scrub. And I don't know about you, when I've used them, I've often been left with red eyes afterwards. And if that's not enough, they can also lead to an increase in fine lines and wrinkles because of that rubbing action. So yeah, before I get into it, I just wanted to say, don't do makeup wipes. Okay, so let's start with a classic. This is something that I've had in my rotation on and off for years. It's the Eve Lom Cleanser. It's a balm cleanser. It's a cult cleanser that so many other brands have copied over the years. If you have a balm type cleanser that you love and it was released in the past few years, undoubtedly it was inspired by the Eve Lom Cleanser. It was the first of its kind to kind of be packaged with the little muslin cloth. And it's just stood out. It stood the test of time and stood out because it has that kind of, the texture is really hard to explain. It is oil based, but it's kind of got this creaminess to it that melts into an oil once you've massaged into your skin. It is brilliant for taking off all the makeup and your SPF. I don't remember the first time I used it, but I think the first thing that attracted it to me was kind of like a ritual approach to cleansing your face. Instead of reaching for a makeup wipe or throwing on a face wash, it instructs you to apply the product all over the face, massage it using circular motions. And that part of it, for me, it can last as long as you want it. So you can massage your face for a good 5 minutes in circular motions. To take it off, it tells you to get the muslin cloth in hot water. Personally, I wouldn't say hot, but as warm as you feel comfortable with, and you kind of like press it on your face for 5 seconds to help kind of melt the oil even more, and then you'll wipe it off. But I didn't realize it actually tells you to do it like 3 times in a row. And I think that's part of what makes it into this kind of like relaxing ritual. You have to take time out to do it. And that is one thing that I do quite enjoy about balm cleansers or oil cleansers in general. The whole process of using the warm cloth and then wiping off the makeup again acts as a really gentle exfoliation, as opposed to something rough like a scrub, or again, with the makeup wipes, they can be quite rough on your skin. Another reason for it kind of being like a ritual is the fact that it has these 4 aromatic oils in it. So each time you rub it in and when you put the warm cloth on your face, you can just, the fragrance really helps you just relax. I've used it for years on and off, and that's when my skin has been having a great time or been going through a bad time, because it is just a really gentle cleanser. And that sort of gentle approach pretty much relies on you taking time to massage it in, taking time around your eyes, and then taking time when you wipe it off with the muslin cloth. It's really about a gentle cleansing process. One thing that I didn't realize about the product as well is that the brand markets it as a multi-benefit 5-in-1 product. I hadn't realized that before. In one product, it aims to cleanse, hydrate, tone, and exfoliate the skin, and also take off your makeup and SPF. So I think, again, if you are looking for something that ticks a few boxes and can actually be quite quick if you need that when you get in of an evening or you've been on Zooms all day and you just want to get your makeup off quickly, I think it really fits any kind of requirements that you need, whether it's fast and efficient or you want to take time out to create a ritual and relax. So let's stay on the subject of balms right now, because I really do think they're great for just about anyone. One thing, however, I would never personally just use a balm and then do the rest of my skincare. I cannot do that. I recently removed oils from my skincare apart from in the cleansing process. So for me, the concept of using a balm all over, getting the cloth, wiping it off, and then going in with everything else, I can't do that. Not right now anyway. But perhaps if you have super dry skin, that may be a benefit of a balm for you. I wanted to bring in another balm that I have tried more recently, and compared to Eve Lom starts at around £55. The Body Shop's Chamomile Sumptuous Cleansing Butter starts at just £5. So that's a huge difference if you just want to experiment with a balm. So just to go back to the whole cleansing, my process, for me, a balm will always be the first part of a double cleanse. And if you don't know what a double cleanse is, it's usually an oil-based cleanser followed by a gel-based cleanser. And what the gel-based cleanser will do is remove the residue that the balm has left behind. So really remove any last tiny bits of makeup, mascara, etc. So for me, a double cleanse is like essential. I don't know how long I've been doing double cleansing. It's probably a couple of years, and I would never go back. The thought that I used to just use a face wash and take my makeup off at the end of the day, yeah, I will never go back to that. So like I said, the Body Shop's Chamomile Sumptuous Cleansing Butter is a really good option, very inexpensive if you just want to experiment with a balm. This one, it comes in a tin, and on the tin it says suitable for sensitive skin. And it really is. It feels lighter than the Eve Lom version. It feels like it's much more, it turns into an oil much more quickly. It seems a lot smoother and thinner than the Eve Lom version. It has a really very delicate floral scent, which again helps me kind of indulge in the massage process of it. If you're someone that's anti-fragrance, I don't think the fragrance is strong enough for you to get upset with, unless it's something that your skin is going to react with if you have an allergy. Again, you can use this one with a warm washcloth, or you can actually emulsify it if you just add a little bit of warm water and keep massaging the product in. Eventually, you'll see like a white watery residue on your face, and you'll know that you can kind of wash it off and then go in with your second cleanse. I think this is a good option for anyone that's just going through something with their skin, and you have been wearing makeup, you have been wearing SPF, but you really need to be gentle. I know that it's hard when you're doing all these Zooms and these at-home events, and you're also struggling with your skin. There's a pressure to, well, isn't it sensible to not wear anything? But at the same time, being on camera, you kind of feel like you have to make the best of yourself. So for me, this cleanser is just really great if you need to wear makeup or SPF, and you need something that's going to be gentle on your skin. So although we're done with balms, I want to mention one more product that forms the first part of my cleanse if I'm not using a balm, and that's an oil. As I mentioned earlier, I've actually removed oils from my post-cleansing skincare. I am fully focused right now on water-based hydration, but when it comes to the cleansing part, I'm still using oils here and there. One that I really love is the Living Libations Best Skin Ever Sea Buckthorn Cleanser Moisturizer. So that's a bit of a mouthful, but it's a really beautiful product. And again, if you're somebody that likes indulging in your cleanse, you know, I don't have kids, but I still feel like at the end of the day, I need to relax. But I feel like this could be a really good one for anyone that's got kids. They're doing the homeschooling and they're working from home and they're making the dinner and you need 5 minutes for yourself. It's this gorgeous yellowy gold color. And I first heard about Living Libations from Elizabeth Williamson, who's a former guest on BeautyMe. And when she was on the podcast, which is episode 32, if you want to check it out, Elizabeth talked at great length about her own issues with hormonal acne and how having a French mother really kind of affected how she looked at skincare and stripping things back. And she really follows through with that advice because the way she uses Living Libations is as a cleanser. And then once she's washed her face, she will then use it as a moisturizer. So it's kind of doubling up on the hydrating potential of the oil. As I said, for me, I would not do it. For me, I feel it would congest my skin. But if you check out Elizabeth on Instagram at Elisa_Loon, you will see she has beautiful skin. So again, it's about finding what works for you. But I love this for a oil cleanse before my gel cleanse. I use about 3 or 4 pumps, just massage it all over my face, and I will set a timer for about 5 or 6 minutes, and I'll just sit there and massage it in. If I have a bit more time, I might check out one of Elizabeth's videos because she does a lot on gua sha, a lot on facial massage, and she will talk about lymphatic drainage. So I will really focus on this area when I'm using the Living Libations. Taking this time out is something that I can do for my skin and for my mind. And as someone that can kind of get stressed about my skin, that's so important, just to take 5 minutes out of my day and just sit down, feel my skin and take a deep breath. So now I'm on to the second part of cleansing, which, as I mentioned earlier, is all about, for me, it's gels. Some people, it might be kind of foaming cleansers. Well, that can be a gel as well. It could be foaming cleanser. It could be cream to foam. It could be a cream cleanser. It's something that's going to take off the residue and the remains of your oil, your first cleanse. For a while, well, for several months, I think when lockdown first started, for instance, I was of a view that I could just keep things simple and only rinse my face with water in the mornings. And I would see so many Instagram beauty enthusiasts saying the same thing, you know, like if they've put actives on the night before, when they get up the next day, they'll just splash their face with water because they don't want to do too much. And they would also say if they hadn't done anything to their skin the night before, it was okay to just splash their face with water the next morning because they hadn't done much. And I thought that I could do that. But for the past couple of months, I have added 2 new cleansers into my regime because splashing my face with water is just not cutting it for me. I say I've brought in 2 new ones, but actually one of them is something that I use every now and then because it has instant effects on my skin. So I'm going to tell you about that one first. And that is the CeraVe Salicylic Acid Smoothing Cleanser. Whenever I use that product, within a week, I will have less texture. I deal with texture along my jaw, maybe slightly up on the cheeks, but really mainly around the jaw because that's the hormonal area. And I'm not kidding. If I use this for a week, my texture will all but disappear. So I'll have the Salicylic Acid Smoothing Cleanser in my rotation every now and then. I might leave it for a couple of months, but you can bet that there is always a bottle of it in my house. So right now, a couple of days a week, I will use the SA cleanser. And it's on days when I know maybe I'm going to use my Paula's Choice 2% BHA that evening. It's just like it gets a little active action in there in the morning, kind of preparing the way for the evening. But it will literally be 2 days a week, and those days will be quite far apart from each other. On days when I'm not using that, I'll go for something really simple, but not as simple as, say, Glossier's Milky Jelly Cleanser. I've used that in the past, and it is the most basic cleanser, and I mean that in a positive way. It's super gentle. It has nothing active about it that's going to kind of affect any of the other ingredients I'm using. Instead, I'm using the Neostrata Restore PHA Facial Cleanser. Again, it's really super gentle. It's like, it almost looks like the Milky Jelly Cleanser. It's kind of like this clear gel. I was recommended this by a really nice esthetician that I've been talking to on the DMs, Emma Kamara Cisse, and she recommended it because I have sensitive, often reactive skin. So if you think of the Glossier Milky Jelly Cleanser again, because it's such a good example of something simple. This is very similar, but it has polyhydroxy acid, PHA, in it, which will give you a super delicate daily exfoliation. It's super delicate. I've never had any reaction to it. It enables me, it's so gentle that I can use it on all of the days when I'm not using the SA cleanser. So I'll definitely use this 5 days a week. It's super gentle. I can use it morning and evening. And it's just about a tiny amount of exfoliation. I think it's definitely helped because I've realized that little splash of water in the morning before applying everything, it doesn't make sense. It makes sense that I prepare my skin for what it's going to go through in the day, prepare it for makeup, and also prepare it for the skincare that's going to go on it. I don't think it makes sense for me anymore to just put water on and then put, some rose water and a moisturizer. My skin is just not made that way. Maybe it was at birth, but a lot of things have happened since then. So I'm just trying to manage my skin right now. So you might be thinking 5 cleansers, or maybe at the beginning you thought 5 different cleansers. No, but hopefully my explanations make sense. For me, it makes sense because our body composition, we change on a daily basis. We can actually change throughout the day depending on our hormones, whether we're on our period or not. There's so many things that affect how our bodies react and therefore our skin. And our skin is often that indicator that something is up elsewhere. So for me, it kind of makes sense that I have 5 cleansers. Some mornings I cannot find them because I don't know. I might do the oil cleanse in my living room. I might do a balm cleanse in the spare bathroom. But for me, these 5 are so key. I don't think I would need anything else ever again. I hope not anyway. As I mentioned earlier, it's really easy to follow somebody on Instagram because you feel you've got a great connection with them. And so it really, like, why not try what they use? But I think it's really important that if you are dealing with an issue that's bothering you, it's far better to perhaps follow some estheticians or doctors. For example, I followed Dr. Awoma Ukulegi, who was my second guest on the podcast, I think, way back when, also known as @Skin Doctor. So that's skin without the I. She has amazing skin, but I know she's also dealt with issues in the past. So for me, she is a great example, and she's a doctor. I also follow Dr. Shireen Idris, a dermatologist she's really no nonsense, but she's pretty gentle about it. They're the people that I want to get recommendations from. They're the people I want to learn about. This is my skin. I'm invested in it. I'm not going to get another skin again. So while I might have friends online that are skincare enthusiasts, I think it's important that we think, yeah, I noted that you love that product for, these reasons. But often if you're following an influencer, for instance, think about how long they've been trying that product. Have they used it for 12 weeks? It's likely that they haven't because they're being sent stuff. I know what it's like. I get sent stuff and I'm just like, right, I'll wait until I've gone through my current regime for a good 8 to 12 weeks. If you enjoyed this episode and you want to know more about my personal favorites, let me know over on @BeautyMe Podcast on Instagram. If you're watching this on YouTube, leave me a comment in the comment section. Let me know what you're using. Let me know if you use any of the products that I've mentioned. As always, do please subscribe, rate, and review. It really helps BeautyMe be seen.